It's DIY day 31. Pretty late in the day. I've been in all the other shops back and forth doing a bunch of different things. But I'm not done my video yet today till later in the day, because if I'd have done it this morning, my rant would have been even worse. But nonetheless, hope y'all had a great Labor Day weekend. I put a couple hours in, but I did take one day off and we had fun. So you might, if you keep watching the videos all the time, you've seen the snapper working on this and doing, and I finally finished it this morning. I'm going to put a couple more coats of, I'm all done with my sealer. I'm going to put the mold release agent on it now. So I got a 27 already built. We can put the floor in it now. Got lots going on. Eric came in this weekend. He got his stuff done. But day 31. So that means I got what's left. I'm coming in tonight. So I got 10 days left on my 40-day challenge. And just kind of getting it turned around. Where's the attitude of quality? I mean, there's some folks that get it and understand it. But I just don't want to build junk just to be done. I just don't want to show up just to show up. I want to be proud of what I do. And there's a lot of other people like that, but how do we instill that into the next generation? So that's all the rent we're doing, but I'm going to go around and kind of show you what's going on in the other shop here now. Well, Eric just got in. We're ready for the double shift. You were on the river all day today?
Yes.
So this is a double shift for you too. I had to run up and get Eric a work order, so I got him work order for a bunch of parts. He's chopping a flat table. We always use that for flat pieces. We got a hearse trailer coming up and we'll use it for that. While I was gone, he gelled all the parts. You could probably see in the background before. Actually, the video switched to slow motion, so you didn't get all of that last shot that we had. But he was in here prepping. Actually, put a little green wax on the edges and then gelled everything. So these take about 20 minutes to a half hour to dry, depending on the weather. And then he's going to start chopping these parts. Now that's a 27 floor, so he's going to bolt that in. I'll help him do that. I'm going to leave you do your thing. Oh, I described doing this. I've seen all the parts I took out the other day, or this morning.
Yeah.
If you catch it just right. We were talking about you the other day. I go, oh, you must have missed it.
Did I miss one?
A couple days ago.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
not yesterday. Everything was trimmed out and nice, so we don't have to cut it. And you can kind of see it start turning. It's awful red to start with, but as soon as you can, I mean, you don't even have to feel it. You can start, you just know the color.
Yeah, that was just a little early on that. I should have waited a little bit longer, but then I would have forgotten about it.
Well, a little bit early, you start kind of tearing it like this. Catch it right on, and you get it, make a nice cut. So, and then he probably wisely left this because it's still, you can see how flexible that is. It's not hard enough yet to cut. So anyway, I think I'll go back to the Richards story in the Rosewood, which is now new classic coach carriage. New classic coach, I think it's called. So I'm going to go in the way back machine. Back in 70, maybe 5, 4, 6, somewhere in there. I'd started BC Auto Body up in Illinois, and while I was still in high school. I started at my parents' garage, then moved it to a 4-car garage in a house that I'd bought. And I was just styling, man. I was still a kid, and we're building stuff. I'm building all my, building hot rods, not even hot rods. I'm building muscle cars and doing bikes back then. Back in the day, you didn't ask people where their money came from. You were just building bikes. So it was all going good. And my garage burned down. Everything burned down. So when it burned down, I thought I lost everything I had. I mean, my world kind of crashed there for a minute. But as I thought about it, I grew up in the church. And I didn't really have no use for it. I didn't see no power there. It was a bunch of hypocrisy. You just go to church for what reason? There was nothing there. So I knew all about Jesus. And I had a good head knowledge of all the, you went to the Sunday school classes, went to the choir, did the whole thing. Matter of fact, you got your own pew in the church. Well, you didn't even sit in the wrong pew, and you were in the Chester pew. You better sit in the right spot. There was the whole family's there. So after the garage burned down, I must have been about 19. I lost everything I had, I realized I had everything I needed in Jesus. So I went from knowing about him to knowing him. And it turned into a new adventure. So in that adventure, one of the first things I did, I can draw a little bit, paint. It's not something that I just totally enjoy, so I don't do a lot of it. So I drew my future. I just made the plan. I was like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? What is the desire of my heart? So one of the things, my dad's name was James. My grandfather's name was Jesse. So, all right, my first son, he's going to be Jesse James Chester. And the music, that was a big part of my life, or I wanted it to be. I didn't want to be a rock and roll star. I didn't have that desire, but music, all right, music is in there. I wish I had saved the picture because I did this all in a drawing. And then, if you remember, I'm a car guy, so way back in the day, if you look in the sill plate, Body by Fisher. So I wanted Body by BC. And there was a couple things on there, a couple other things, and over the years you get going along, and you kind of, life catches up with you, and you got to go along, and you kind of forget those dreams. But over the years, I've been able to do everything on there. Music, I played music. I was in a blues band, rock band, country rock band. I played with a black gospel band. I'd be the only white guy in huge venues. Then contemporary Christian music, we were all part of that when the drums were still of the devil. Bringing in the church, so we were part of that whole movement, did all that, played all the time. So music was part of it. My first son, of course, now I work for him. He's corporate, Jesse James. And so Body by Fisher. So Body by BC. So now that I'm doing the hearse again, talking to Richard, I told Richard when I talked to him today on the phone, I called him, I said, I feel like this is like the old days. I'm motivated. Let's get it done. We're both got good, strong foundations. Let's take it to the next level. So even this weekend, I only took one day off this weekend, and even when I was off, I was actually helping Marvin clean up around his house for part of it, and we fished for half a morning, just so we could catch some fish for a fish fry we had on Monday night. But all I could do was think about what I need to do down here. What do I need to do down here? So I'm back in the game. We're gonna get it going. And I know we got so much stuff we still need to finish, but man, I think the Packard project is on the horizon. Something I've kind of wanted to do, but knew I couldn't do it. But maybe I can pull it off this time. It looks like we're going to be working with Richard to do some of these hearses. I'm going to put the pictures of them there. Some pretty cool. And we're already part of creating the design, some of the shapes and the plug parts, and some of the molds. And like I said, we built this mold totally. So I'm excited. Had to put in a double shift today, but DIY day, I'm gonna have to look. I think it's day 31. It may be day 32, but I think I'm gonna head to the house, get a couple hours, and do it again tomorrow. So as I'm driving home, I'm just thinking, I've got to finish this story about my drawing. God was in the picture. I don't remember how I had him, but he was totally in the picture. Like I said, I went from knowing about Jesus to knowing Jesus. I was like a kid in a candy store. If you said it, it's got to be true. And if it's not true, then you're a liar. And I don't want to follow a liar because it's either true or it's not true. So I'd find a new truth and I would just, okay, there it is. It's got to be. So there was no balance in that, but nonetheless, it has been an adventure ever since. And now I tell people, God will give you the desire of your heart. Just be very careful that you let Him put the desire there. Because as I've grown older, and grown old now you can say, all the things of this world matters less and less and less. I like to build cars. It's kind of who I am. It's part of what I do. You know, we're created in the Creator's image, so why not be creative? And let's not build junk. We're not condemned to poverty. We're children of a king. I like to build cool stuff, but it's not my idol. It's not my who I am. I'll just finish with this, because God said, put your treasures in heaven, where rust and the moth can't get it, thieves can't steal it. Because where your treasure is, that's where your heart's going to be also. So anyway, it's actually a beautiful night out. Go get a couple hours sleep and do it again tomorrow.